All right. So for those of you who just joined, the Muse Method Challenge group is like on fire with sharing. So even if you don't, I would encourage you to do a Facebook Live, because when you move out of fear and you actually start sharing and you like see yourself in that tenderness and other people embrace you, it's magic. But if you're not ready for that yet, and I still go try to the Facebook Live. If you're not ready for that, write something, okay? Because there's something to interacting with others and allowing them in to support you in your celebration or in your struggle, right? There is something magic that happens, because this isn't about commiserating and like circling the drain of pain. This is about like, oh, what else is possible? Like, what else is possible? And that's the energy in the group. And so if you truly want to move forward, don't just listen to me, jump in and play. Okay. So we got the group until Sunday. Well, we have the group after that, but I just find that when challenges end, like the energy ends. So today we're going to talk about a few things. First of all, I want to open it up and ask, what gives you energy? And then we're going to bring it back to what the Muse Method is. In your life, what have you been taught like you need in order to have energy and vitality?
Caffeine.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just eating healthy and exercise.
Okay. Movement, food, caffeine,
proper rest,
proper rest,
hydration.
For me, it's listening to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else?
I think nature, just being outdoors.
Okay. Awesome.
Doing things that are exciting.
Doing things that are exciting. Okay, so we're starting to step into like the vitality piece. So some of this is like your building blocks, food, water, movement, and then we start to move into something more juicy, which is our vitality, what really lights our fire. So like what Jan was saying, it's like, and Teresa, music, doing something. Erin was like, being out in nature lights you up, right? So we want to light our Muse fire. And so I say this because there's a little conversation in the group I started, like, how's your sleep? Right? And I love, Gina, you're like, oh my God, I'm not sleeping. I haven't been sleeping for ages. Okay. Before we get into this judgment upon ourselves or this conclusion, oh my God, if I'm not getting the proper sleep, I'm going to be grouchy and awful and not functioning tomorrow. Let's just be curious. What is happening? I'm getting different sleep. But I'm pumping with vitality. Am I fine the next day? I just want you guys to get curious, okay? So, because I know for me, like I love a luscious 9 hours. 9 hours is my sweet spot. It's like really amazing. Like that's like perfect. But there's so many times where my Muse hasn't let me sleep. The times that I'm like in battle with that, I wake up exhausted because I'm like, oh my God, when are you gonna let me sleep? When? Right? The other times when I just listen and I go, okay, I'm up. And I want to say, like, it's a really expanded conversation. It's a little bit too deep for here. I mean, I do a whole course on how to listen to the language of your Muse, but your Muse generally doesn't speak in words. She's not going, I want you to get up right now and go write a book. She doesn't do that so much, right? What I would say to you is to look back in your days, even if it's a subconscious question or ask that you've been having, like, oh my God, I just wish I had some alone time. I wish I had some downtime. I wish I could just not do anything and just luxuriate on the couch. I just, oh my gosh, those people who get to do that, like, notice those things, because she will create the space for that. And she will give you the energy if you allow yourself to embody it, right? You might have been asking. So I always look back and I'm like, what have I been asking for that this is the answer, right? And I'll be honest, like, I get like pissed off sometimes. I'm like, shit, this is not how I meant whatever I asked. This isn't how I meant it to show up. And you know, I'm telling you, like, our Muse always has a sense of humor. She's like, yeah, but this is what works. So here we go. If you're willing to ride the ride, this could be fun. And so, you know, I look back and I go, oh my gosh, I needed time to do, I don't know, to paint or to read or whatever. Maybe not play the piano in the middle of the night while everybody's sleeping, but you know, this is the time, and she's giving it to you. If you fight, you will not just be more exhausted, but you will break down your body. You will break down your mind. You will break down your emotions. If you allow, then truly the vitality of your spirit, the vitality of that Muse fire that's inside of you will burn brighter and will fuel you. How many of you have eaten right, drank right, slept right, and still are like, what the hell? I am done. Because you have not tapped into the greatest resource ever, which is your vitality, your Muse fire. You need you as much as you need food, water, and rest. And I would hazard a guess to say you need you more than those three things. If you have this and only half of those, I would put money on it that you feel way more vital, way more energetic, way more passionate, way more clear. This vitality, your Muse fire, is what fuels you. It's what lights you up. If you are not putting logs on that by going out into nature, by playing music, by running around the table with a dog, that's what I do. Like, my dog's like, hey, let's do a round. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. Let's see how silly we can be, right? If you're not doing those things, you're probably exhausted all the time. You're probably irritated. You're probably judging yourself and others because you haven't put you in the center of your life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to when we're doing the Muse method. The whole intention, it really needs to have an intention, is to breathe life into that fire. Right? But doing the Muse method alone without listening afterwards, and I say listening, for me, it's not here. Listening is with the body. Like, oh my gosh, I need to have fun. Like, there's like something inside of me that's like aching for it. If I don't give that to myself, like, I'm literally stopping the energy of that fire and things start to fall apart. There's action that comes after. Okay. And everybody looks and they're like, what's the big action? A lot of times it's little tiny things. It's how you wash the dishes. Do you wash the dishes grumbling, or do you turn on your favorite song and you wash the dishes? We all have like real life, right? Real life. You got to do the laundry. All right. For me, I put a timer on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the laundry. I'm going to see how many other things I can do while this is happening, while the kettle's going. Like, how many other things can I do so that this life of mine becomes filled with me, right? So let's go back into the conversation about sleep and emotions, because we've kind of been in that. So a few of you said you're not sleeping. did any of this resonate with you about that? Or, and it can be, no, it didn't. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that I have had, I'm a great sleeper usually, and I've had trouble getting to sleep, and my mind is just kind of going. But what I do is I don't freak out. Like, I just allow my mind to go. And what I've noticed is that I'm still in an alpha state. Like, it's like I'm sleeping awake, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not getting up and like communicating with the muse and writing things down or anything like that. I'm just like, okay, I'm allowing for what is and just relaxing into it. And when I wake in the morning, even though I know that I've probably been up for a good 1 to 2 hours before I actually got to sleep, but when I wake up in the morning, I feel the vitality. And
Mhm.
so I like what you said about sleeping differently. I've been sleeping differently, and I don't have to judge it. Right?
No, because we get so stuck in like, this is the right way, that we don't look at a lot of things and go, is it actually creating the results I'm desiring?
Right.
What if I do it a different way? Not the wrong way, because what is the wrong way? Just, like, I don't know. But what if I do it different and I actually get the vitality that I desire? Whoa, okay. Can
Right.
I lose the guilt and the judgment because I'm not doing it the way that somebody in a book said I should do it? I mean, somebody in a book says that I do get up at 4 o'clock in the morning at the moment for my kids. But somebody in a book said that the way to do business right is to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go. Well, they can get a middle finger from me because I don't function well at that time. I'm not doing anything good, other than driving my kids. At that time, I'm not creative. But man, there's something that happens at 1 a.m. sometimes for me. Like, if I allow myself to stay up and like follow that, cool. That's my difference. That doesn't mean they're wrong. That's what works for them. So I applaud that. Thanks for writing the book for those people that works for. For those of us who it doesn't, let's stop trying to follow that person's advice and follow ourselves. Right? Get really into like, what works for me? Oh, it works. Cool. Right? Who else wants to share about sleep or emotion? I'm so glad you're here, Teresa Martins.
I feel like I can't get enough sleep.
Tara,
ahead,
I
Linda.
was just thinking
Linda.
that what you were saying reminds me so much of the whole airplane thing, the airplane conversation. Put on your own oxygen mask first, because you can't help anybody else if you don't help you.
It is. And so I love these beautiful sayings that are all over the world. That this is why I'm like, knowing it here and doing it here is totally different. And so I can't remember who wrote in the group. I was like, internalizing something makes all the difference, because we know a lot of the answers. I can go, oh, I'm supposed to look out for me first. And I'm like, but do I do it? That is the magic. Right? So we know these sayings, but are we doing it? And are we curious? Like, ooh, let me just do a nugget. So like with the Muse method, we're only doing it for 1 minute at a time. Let me just get curious today. What if I just put me first today? And didn't take guilt along. Like, I took like, oh, this feels like good. And watched what happened with putting me first without defensiveness. Because most people in this world go around and go, I'm going to put me first. I'm putting me first. I'm putting me first, right? Stop. I can't help you right now because I'm putting me first. Even if you don't say it like that, people are really defensive. And so then everybody around them gets pissed off and you go, oh, I shouldn't put me first. No, you shouldn't have an attitude about it. You should just put you first and let it fill you up so much that you ooze out the passion of what it felt like to put you first. It should and so first means that there's second, third, and fourth. Like, you have more to give to somebody else. Like, I played the piano and oh my God, it made me feel good, or it made me feel sad, or it brought up a conversation. It's all right. Like I played the piano and like now I'm crying all day. Oh God, I don't want to do that again. What if you shared your tears with the people that were around you? Right? Joe told me to paint recently, and I was like, dude, if I stop painting, I'm gonna throw paint all over the walls. I'm like, I don't want to paint right now. Right. And so I'm like, but what would it take not to throw paint all over the walls, but to like get in and throw some of that onto the canvas. And then to be okay with it's not, sometimes we have to break through what's coming out in order to find the lusciousness on the other side. Yeah. What else? Did you want to share, Teresa Martins?
I literally got out of bed to get here.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
What else? Emotions, sleep, anything. Oh man. Okay. So we talk. I'm so used to other calls where I get to talk a long time and share. Let's do the Muse method because we got 2 minutes left. Please share in the group. This is where you get to interact even more, ask more questions, and all that kind of stuff. So fine. So Teresa Martin's like your first time here today, but you've done this before. Find where on your body needs nurturing at the moment. Okay. So for all of you, and that's where I want you to put one of your hands and then go for somewhere else as well. And then I'm going to set the timer and we're going to do this together for 1 minute. All right, here we go. Okay, everybody, 1 minute. It goes so fast. So notice what's happening in your body. Notice even any desires that coming up. Like for me, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to run. My mind goes, well, what do you want to run and do? No, I'm like, what if I just like ran around the house a little bit? And then I got an idea, like, or maybe that's all I want to do, right? But there might be something else I want to run to, but I don't have the answer right now. So I'm just going to move, because as we move, that Muse fire comes up and it starts to communicate with us a little bit more. It's here. And so if you're not listening, like you're not hearing things, you're put your hands on and just go, what could I do right now that would be a contribution to me? What could I do? Right? And it might just be to breathe. My dog's like, you could contribute to me by letting me outside. You're funny. He won't even go out right now. So I'm not sure what the deal is, but just play with it today, ladies. If you can share and like go past your fear level and share in the Facebook group, whether it's Facebook Live or just your words, I think you'll find that it contributes to you and supports you in your journey. So thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Sarah.
Welcome.
Thanks, Kara.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.